Hey guys, hey, this is Anne Marie and this is the Anti-HR channel. In this video, I want to talk about how to prove it's discrimination when they keep telling you that what you're experiencing is not about race, or it's not about ethnicity, or it's not about your gender, or it's not about whatever your protected characteristic is, but you kind of feel that it is. How do you prove that it is? I have a lot of people come to me and they say, they'll book a discovery call with me and they'll say that it's a general HR issue. And then as they describe what is going on with their workplace, it's very clearly discrimination, but they aren't sure. And this is, there's nothing wrong with that. You're not doing anything wrong because a lot of times it can be subtle, right? It can be very subtle. And, American workplaces are very good at gaslighting Black professionals, especially Black women. So people will do things and they will try to convince you that they're not doing it to you because of your race, your ethnicity, your gender, or another protected characteristic, when that's clearly why they're doing it. But they will gaslight the hell out of you, right? So it's okay to not be sure, but here are some things you can do to confirm whether or not what is occurring in your workplace is actually discrimination. So the first thing you want to do is you want to start with your gut instinct. Especially as women, we have intuition. And a lot of times what gets us in trouble is that we ignore our intuition, and we shouldn't do that. So because a lot of times, not every time, but most of the time, when it don't feel right, it ain't right? So start with your gut, and then the next thing you do is you start your documentation. That's what I'm going to tell you. You start to document what is going on. And now if you are following me, you know that I believe that you should be documenting your workplace from the first day. Not from the first incident, but from the first time you come in that job. You should keep a journal, and you should be journaling about your workplace every day. You don't have to be writing 15 paragraphs, but just summarize at the end of every week what happened at your workplace. If anything happened that seemed odd or wrong or strange, you write it down. Even if it didn't happen to you, it happened to somebody else and you observed it, you write it down. But you document. So if you feel like something doesn't feel right and something happened as an incident, write about it. Write what about it felt wrong to you, right? And make sure you're just keeping track of what occurred in your journal. I have an anti-HR documentation journal that you can download. It's an ebook. You can download it from my website and use it to document your workplace. The second key thing that you need to do is to always document and carefully think through and compare how you are being treated versus how other people in your workplace are being treated. So you're always going to want to pay attention to, are you being treated the same as other people in like circumstances, right? So if you believe that you're being discriminated against on the basis of race and ethnicity, then pay very careful attention to how people who are in the majority race or not the same race as you are being treated. For example, I was recently working with a client, and this client came to me because they were dealing with discrimination issues on the basis of a disability, as well as Family Medical Leave Act issues, right? But as I was talking to this person in our first consultation, and they were expanding on some of the information that they had shared with me in a discovery call, what I also helped them pick up on was that there was also discrimination, that they were working with a manager who was showing preference for people of the same race and ethnicity and culture as he. And in this case, this person was Southeast Asian American. And they were showing very clear open bias in favor of Southeast Asian, i.e. Indian, men and women on the team. And people who did not fall into that group were being treated differently, and we're not getting the same benefits and opportunities in terms of career development and career advancement. This person didn't come to me because of discrimination. They didn't pick up on that initially. They noticed it, but they didn't really focus on that. They were very focused on the issues that they were having around the discrimination against them based on their disability and the retaliation they experienced because they had taken FMLA. But in addition to those issues, there was also very clear racial and gender bias happening in their workplace, which we were able to surface and then document and raise, right? So it's very important to pay attention to not just what is happening to you, but what is happening, what is not happening to people who don't look like you. The third thing that I want you to feel free to do is call the thing the thing. A lot of us are so afraid to say discrimination. We don't want to say it. We don't want to call its name. We almost act as if we don't say it, it doesn't exist. We be gaslighting our own damn selves. Okay? I would like y'all to stop doing that. Don't do that. It's not helpful and it's not going to solve your problem. So you have to call the thing the thing. Once you have documented, you have done the necessary comparison, it is time to call the thing the thing. If these people are discriminating against you because you have a disability, say so. If they're discriminating against you because you are black, say so. If they are discriminating against you because of your age, say so. If they are discriminating against you because of your sexual orientation, say so. If they are discriminating against you because you're a woman, say so. If they are discriminating against you for all of them reasons, say so. Write that shit down in your journal. I have come to the conclusion that I'm experiencing bias in my workplace on the basis of this, this, and this. Name the protected characteristics and then say why. Here are the things that have happened that make me come to this conclusion. You got to call the thing to yourself before you can call the thing to other people. So these are 3 tips for how you can determine whether what you think is happening in your workplace is actually happening in terms of discrimination. I've written a whole blog post where I give you several others, things that you should do. Please read the blog post. It is linked to the description of this video. It lays out in detail how to think through these things so that you can come to the right conclusions. Because as I always say, everything ain't discrimination. And I'm not interested in teaching people to think that everything bad that happens to you at work is discrimination, because it's not. And I've had to say that to people who have had discovery calls with me of late. Just because you want it to be discrimination don't mean that it is. But when it is discrimination, you need to be able to recognize it, you need to document it, and you need to call it what it is. Without apology, call it what it is, and then demand accountability for it. So I hope this short video is helpful in terms of, highlighting that, when you come to work, people will do things and they will try to talk you out of what they're doing. They will try to tell you that what they're doing to you is okay. Not just when it comes to discrimination, but also when hostile workplaces, bullying, harassment, they will engage in whole gaslighting campaigns. And they don't want to stop what they're doing. They just want to convince you that what they're doing is opposite of what you know they're doing. And so what I'm explaining to you here doesn't just apply to discrimination. It also applies to any kind of bad behavior. If you feel that somebody is doing something to you that they should not be doing, you have to go through these steps of thinking through and documenting what is happening, then documenting how it is impacting not just you, but other people around you. How are other people being treated? Are they experiencing the same thing? Or are you the only one? Are you being targeted? How do you determine whether you're being targeted? Again, you look at how other people are being treated around you. If you're being singled out, if you're being embarrassed at meetings, if you're being called out in meetings, if you're being treated differently in the presence of other people, right? And you don't see other people being held to the same standard, then there's something going on that you need to pay attention to. You have to document those things. And then when you come to conclusions about it, say the thing. Don't be afraid to say, this person is bullying me. These people are mobbing me. These people are harassing me. And the reason they're doing it is because X, Y, Z. It's because of my race. It's because they dislike me for whatever other reasons. But you have to write down your conclusions, because before you're going to be able to raise them as real issues in the workplace, you have to articulate to yourself what is happening. You can't hide from a problem if you want to solve it. So I really do hope that this is helpful, because I do see a lot of people coming and some of them don't recognize the discrimination, which is not unusual, but some of them actually do, and they just don't want to say what it is. They want me to tell them. They already know, but they just want me to tell them. And what I'm saying to you is, you don't need me to tell you what you know. I'm happy to tell you if you want to come and pay for discovery calls so I can tell you something that you already know, but I want to help you figure out that you know what this is already. And so these are some steps that I've put in this blog post to help you recognize and be prepared to name the thing when you believe that what you are experiencing at work is a problem, especially if you believe it's discrimination. how do you systematically go through a process of, serious critical thought to determine whether what you're experiencing is discrimination and how to talk about it. So I hope this video is helpful. I hope the blog post that I wrote is helpful. I hope that you all will read it, avail yourself of the information in it, so that you feel empowered to then take the necessary steps to address the workplace issue that you're experiencing, especially if it's discrimination. I encourage you to join the AntiHR community. It is a thriving community off of YouTube where I provide advice, I provide resources, engagement. We talk about workplace issues on the community. People raise concerns. We talk about them inside the community. I'm getting ready to be off traveling, but when I get back, I will also be doing some mini consultation group coaching consultation sessions inside of the community, so that people can, come in and talk about things, and we can all engage together to help resolve some of the issues that people are dealing with at work and people going through it at work, especially right now. So I created this community to be somewhere where people can feel more comfortable to talk about things that they're dealing with at work, and also to have access to resources to resolve those problems. So people have access to download a lot of the resources that I sell on my website. Not a lot of them, but some of them that I sell on my website are available for free inside of the community. I just also made one of my master courses available to members inside of the community so that they can engage with those resources. And, I believe that people need to learn things so they can feel empowered to solve issues, and that they don't always just need to talk to me, but they now have access to those issues to those resources inside the community, and they have access to people who are also dealing with some of the things that they are dealing with. So I created this community so that we can engage around, workplace issues and workplace rights issues in a more open place, because as I said, I'm very aware that, these social media platforms do not belong to me. They do not belong to us. And so, the rules of engagement could change at any time. And so I wanted to create an environment where I can access the people who follow me more easily to share information that I feel that they need to have, that I don't always feel free sharing on these platforms. So I encourage you to join. It is $12 a month for an annual membership, $20 a month for a monthly membership. So pretty affordable and easily accessible in that way. So if you would like to join, you can grab the link in the video description here, or you can visit my website and just click on join the AntiHR community. It's at the top of the navigation bar. Thanks for watching this video. As always, as I said before, HR is not your enemy, but they are definitely not your friend, but I am. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.